Thanks, Eddie. Coming up, a staff member from a Sydney university charged with terror offences. Senior Catholics refuse to lift secrecy rules surrounding confession, the new weapon to fight this summer's bushfires, and the fast way to restock lakes with fish. That's next. Tonight, terror arrest. A University of New South Wales staffer charged over an alleged hit list. The Catholic Church rejects Royal Commission calls to lift the secrecy of confession. The chilling moment, a car is stolen with a baby boy inside. And breaking out the big guns, firefighters unveil their new weapon this bushfire season.
This is NBN News with Paul Lobb.
Good evening. He was a star student turned university staffer. Tonight, he's an alleged terrorist. The 25-year-old Sri Lankan man is accused of having links to ISIL and creating a hit list of names and Sydney landmarks.
Mohammed Nizamdeen is described by his university as a hero.
If a child or a priest makes a confession regarding sexual abuse in the Catholic Church, it will be kept secret. Victims are outraged and sad after the Church today chose to ignore a key recommendation of the Royal Commission.
The Catholic Church in Australia says it's open to nearly all the recommendations from the Royal Commission.
Never again. There will be no cover-up.
Mark Burrows, NBN News.
A mother and her teenage son have been caught up in the chaotic aftermath of a police chase. Their car was hit by a ute in Sydney, and what sparked it all is now the focus of a critical incident investigation.
Cars strewn across busy Camden Valley Way, the messy end to a police pursuit.
There were long delays on the Pacific Highway south of Newcastle this morning after a truck and a ute collided at Catherine Hill Bay. Emergency services were called to the Flowers Drive intersection shortly after 7:30. The driver of the ute was taken to the John Hunter Hospital in a stable condition. Police are seeking further information after a woman came forward saying a man tried to grab her while she was on a walking track at Metford a fortnight ago. She says the man was dressed in camouflage. Frightened, she ran off and alerted police.
She felt threatened and, grabbed a stick and to protect herself and then headed to a safe place, which she was headed towards the railway station.
Police are urging anyone with information about similar incidents to contact Crime Stoppers. Police are reviewing dashcam of a crash involving a ute and a motorbike on the New England Highway at Hexham. It happened on the morning of Saturday the 18th of August as several vehicles moved off from traffic lights. The utility changes lanes, forcing the motorbike off the road and continues on while other drivers rush to help the rider. The motorcyclist was taken to the John Hunter Hospital where he was able to give police a statement. The Hunter Valley is becoming increasingly popular with young families looking for a tree change. Bigger blocks, cheaper prices and connectivity to the M1 in particular is driving rapid expansion at Cessnock.
The Broken Back Range, an iconic part of Cessnock and wine country. And over the next 8 years, this 250-hectare parcel of land at the foothills will become home to more than 1,500 families. Georgia Marr, NBN News.
Newcastle's last drinks and lockout laws will remain in place, with the state government handing down its decision following an independent review. 3 changes to the city's licensing conditions were ultimately agreed to by the Office of Liquor and Gaming. Hunter Street Mall is about to get a major new tenant, with a Woolworths Metro store locked in after years of negotiation. The supermarket will be based on the ground floor of Iris Capital's $700 million redevelopment. Demolition is currently in full swing at the site. Construction is next on the cards. Defence experts and officials have hit the Hunter to encourage local businesses to consider partnerships. The Hunter Defence Conference aimed to get small to medium companies involved in what is a major industry in the region and worldwide.
We need to make sure that companies that are based here can take advantage of the fantastic opportunities which are coming down the line.
It's been years in the making. Now Newcastle's largest playground is about to officially open. Richley Reserve at New Lambton will be home to a multi-million-dollar area for children of all ages and abilities.
Blackbutt's Richley Reserve has often been described as the lungs of the city, and those lungs are about to be full of laughter. Lauren Kemp, NBN News.
Still to come. Scott Morrison facing his first diplomatic test as Prime Minister. A man who stole a car with an 8-week-old baby inside is still on the run tonight. The thief took the car from outside a medical centre in Melbourne's north. The baby's mother had stepped out of the vehicle for a moment and left the keys in the ignition. It's a milestone for our new Prime Minister, who's in Indonesia tonight on his first official trip overseas. Scott Morrison will be involved in trade, security and counter-terror talks. But there's more to his visit than deals and diplomacy.
It's the day ScoMo meets Joko. Just 1 week after becoming Prime Minister, Scott Morrison is in Indonesia.
The predictions are dire. The New South Wales bushfire season is expected to be the worst in a decade. But this year, the Rural Fire Service will be boosted by some new aerial helpers, poised to play a key role in saving homes and lives.
Across a sky grey with smoke, an aerial lifeline. Red fire retardant protects the edge of this Californian property from a fire that last month destroyed hundreds of others.
Gavin Morris joins us now for a quick look at the weather. And Gav, nice to see some rain falling in some areas tonight.
Yes, that's right, Paul. We need one of those planes really, really big to dump it right across New South Wales. The closest we can get is that rain band that is sweeping across the region as I speak. It's not producing big numbers, 1 to about 12 millimetres, now contracting into northeastern New South Wales, headed towards the northern rivers after sweeping across the Greater Hunter and the northwest during this afternoon. Still very, very warm, mild, westerly winds tomorrow. Father's Day, cooler, but still looking pretty good. All of your weekend details for the first weekend of spring headed your way real soon.
Thanks, Gav. Ahead in the news, a tyre blowout blamed for a horrific collision between a truck and a bus. And fish away, a remarkable effort to restock remote lakes. Peter Dutton can't escape the au pair affair. Tonight, he's facing questions over whether he misled Parliament. Mr Dutton has denied any wrongdoing, and Scott Morrison is standing by his Home Affairs Minister and the former PM, who's now formally tendered his resignation.
The nation's top office holder and Sharks' #1 ticket holder. A punter-friendly, drop-kicking PM.
To finance, and the Australian share market ended the week 32 points lower. A dip in iron ore prices saw the big miners retreat. BHP Billiton shed 57 cents, while Rio Tinto lost 40. It was a tough day for telcos as well. TPG led the losses, shedding 67 cents. To commodities, and gold is trading higher, oil is lower. And the Aussie dollar is down against the majors, buying 72.5 US cents. Over to sport now with Kate Haberfield. And Kate, the Bunnies have bounced back.
They did, Paul, but it wasn't all good news. Thank you. The latest on the injury to Sam Burgess in a moment. Also ahead, fond farewell, Ox and Dad prepare for their NRL swan song. And did a bizarre mid-match pep talk get Nick Kyrgios over the line at the US Open? The Panthers' finals credentials will be put to the test tonight when they take on the Storm in Melbourne. Coverage from 7:30. Right now, the Warriors lead the Raiders, while last night Sam Burgess left the field with a leg problem as the Rabbitohs ran riot. The 41-point thumping of the Tigers saw South snap a 3-game losing streak. The players say they're ready to prove their doubters wrong.
You don't really pay much attention to the doubters, to be honest. You don't really listen to it.
Sharks coach Shane Flanagan has denied any involvement in the club's alleged breach of the salary cap in 2015. Fronting the media late today, Flanagan said he has nothing to hide and will cooperate fully with the NRL.
A nervous smile before a media grilling, with the Sharks' own whistleblower Barry Russell watching on.
Nick Kyrgios has booked a third-round match with Roger Federer at the US Open, but that's been overshadowed by a bizarre intervention. The chair umpire offered Kyrgios a mid-game pep talk overnight, a move that's left many fuming.
It wouldn't be a Nick Kyrgios match without an eyebrow-raising moment, although this time it wasn't Nick holding court.
I want to help you, I want to help you.
In just a moment, the latest from Central Coast Stadium as Usain Bolt prepares to play his first game for the Mariners.
Tonight's Sport Report, brought to you by McDonald Jones. Find yourself at home.
Usain Bolt's dream of playing in the A-League faces its first real test tonight when he lines up in a trial for the Mariners. Jake Duke is in Gosford and filed this report a short time ago.
Well, in true Usain Bolt fashion, it promises to be a party here on the Central Coast tonight, complete with fireworks, a DJ and dancers. So a very interesting evening ahead.
The Newcastle Jets are expected to give discarded Melbourne Victory winger Mitch Austin a lifeline. The 27-year-old has been trialling with the Jets after being let go by Victory following an injury-plagued season. He could come in as an injury replacement for Joey Champness or even score a permanent spot on the roster. Newcastle City will try to become the first club to win the men's and women's Black Diamond AFL Grand Finals in the same season when it meets rivals from the Central Coast tomorrow. The men are coming off a confidence-boosting victory over Cardiff.
City hasn't beaten Terrigal Avoca this season, but the Newcastle boys say you can throw that form guide out the window.
Some of the biggest names in motorbike racing are settling in ahead of this weekend's Newcastle International Supermoto. Final preparations were being made at the foreshore track this afternoon. The Australian Supermoto Championship will headline tomorrow's schedule, while on Sunday it's the FIM Oceania Championship, coinciding with Father's Day. Paul, you can bet there'll be a lot of dads there on Sunday.
It's going to be a big day. Thanks, Kate. Branxton and Greta lost close to half their male population in World War I, and many of those brave soldiers were never given graves. Now they're about to be honoured as part of a 4-kilometre memorial cycleway connecting the two hunter towns. Stay with us. Gav has the weather next. Gavin Morris joins us now with the weather. And Gav, we had some nice rain today.
Yes, generally speaking, 1 to 5 millimetres across the valley, around the Barringtons, up to 15 millimetres. So that'll flush downstream. Handy, and there's a little more to come. First of all, though, this evening's weather photo. The sun has set on another season. Winter over. Very dry, but spring is going to get off to a little bit of a wet start. The past 24 hours, this is what has been dropped from this rain band passing over. It's already cleared. There's a few more just follow-up showers in there, and we might see a little more in behind it. But generally speaking, that's going to clear and it'll be gone for the weekend. There's another front. The Father's Day front is right there, and that's going to chill it down for Father's Day. It's going to be a little cool, so those dodgy slippers and the thick socks will come in handy there for Dad. They might actually get used on the first day. So that southerly will freshen things up. We'll see a couple of coastal showers begin to develop. But otherwise, all fine tomorrow. There's a warm column of air across northern New South Wales and southern Queensland. A few showers with the Father's Day front there hitting the southeast, and it's calmed down significantly in the west. There goes that rain. The radar, it still works. Been a while since we've had it in there. There's those little follow-up showers moving through and a few more there approaching Putty Road and the Wattikins. Temperatures varied greatly. It was really mild this morning. How's that warm northwesterly today? It's still with us at the moment and still very mild. The humidity is up, so we've got another mild night with us tonight. The westerly winds kicking in and they'll hold their ground all day tomorrow. So a solid westerly breeze and mostly clear skies overhead, so no more rain. What we got is pretty much it. Temperatures, though, mild, low 20s, mild overnight, only just into the single digits, dipping down there, mostly down around about 10 degrees. So it's a stark contrast to what we experienced during the week. We certainly had some very cold mornings with frosts galore right throughout the upper Hunter, blanket of white during the early part of the week. Swell abating, dropping off throughout tomorrow. Seas up to 3 metres because it is going to be a little choppy with those westerlies. Incoming tide all morning tomorrow morning, and then peaking at 12:08 at 1.55. Sun's up 6:10 right now, nice and early, and setting at 5:37, and a moon phase that is, well, up late and not much of it now. Look at this, showers. The first week of spring is going to be a little bit wet. The numbers aren't huge, showers on and off. The onshore winds there keeping the cloud cover fairly consistent, so temperatures will be down. The southerly comes through on Father's Day. It's going to be generally fine right throughout most of the populated areas, maybe a coastal shower at best, but generally speaking, it's pretty good. But the upper Hunter, dads will be happy about this one, particularly if you're on the farm and land. Numbers not big, but consistent showers building. Hopefully, we'll see more come through next Friday with another front passing, but the showers affecting the central coast. Surfers, tomorrow is going to be a nice little day, I would say. We've got those westerlies all day. Swell is dropping off. Now, my pick is go in the morning because you've got that tide coming in right throughout the morning session, and the swell will be dropping off. So by the time we get to the high tide at midday, there's probably not going to be much left. So definitely an early to mid-morning surf, and it's milder as well. So not too bad. New southerly swell returning on Sunday arvo.
Thanks, Gav, and that's the latest news.
Our Friday night football coverage kicks off straight after a current affair.
From all of us here, have a great weekend.
Good night.
Good night.